Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about something every tarot reader experiences at some point, and that is tarot reader's block. You sit down with your cards, you're ready to do a reading, and just nothing. The messages feel unclear, your intuition feels off. You stare at the card and nothing is coming. Now you're questioning whether you should even be doing tarot readings at all. Have you been there? When I first started reading, I had moments like this where I'd be just staring at the cards and drawing a complete blank. And I could not afford this in a live reading situation. So out of necessity, I discovered great ways to move through these blocks and get your intuition flowing again. It's important to read with confidence and have your querents trust when doing a reading. So I am going to share with you today the 5 top things I do when I experience reader's block. So if you don't already know me, I am Amy Lamache. I'm a master tarot reader and intuition development coach with Hudson Valley Tarot. I love to help readers discover their intuitive gifts and take their tarot reading practice to the next level. And that's why I've put together this series. So let's dive right in and talk about my favorite way to get through reader's block. And that's really just ask the client what the card makes them feel or what stands out to them the most. Many readers are interactive with their clients, and because it doesn't have to be just you spitting out interpretations. When you bring your client into the reading, you're going to get their personal take on what these symbols are mean to them or make them feel. And as an example, I'll share with you an experience I had where I was reading for a coworker. I was still fairly new in my tarot reading practice, and I remember the Queen of Wands came up, and I was struggling with the court cards. We all have problems with court cards, but I didn't know what this card meant. Why was it in the reading? So I asked her, you know, I asked her to look at the card and tell me what stood out to her. And immediately she referred to the black cat, and she was afraid of the cat. To her, the cat meant bad luck, and it made her very uncomfortable. So I knew right away that this may represent a person that she was afraid of, that maybe had, a little power over her that she had no control over. And it did. It ended up being her mother-in-law, and the reading ended up being really good and really centering around her contribution to the reading. So don't be afraid to ask your clients for their feedback on the reading. Okay, the next method is a very easy one that anyone can do. If you're not comfortable asking your client for their feedback, just go ahead and start describing the card. Start saying out loud what you see in it, and oftentimes it will just flow right into what the card is trying to say, the message it's trying to convey to you. If you imagine that the card is just one little scene in a movie, think about what's going on at that moment and maybe what is happening right before it or right after it. And these will help you get the message that the card's trying to get to you. And also pay attention to the first thing you start talking about when you describe the card. Usually that aspect of the card is the main focus of the message, right? So if we go back to that Queen of Wands and you start describing the card, and you start with, well, I see a black cat sitting in front of a queen on a throne, and there you go. There's your answer. It's about the black cat. That's a really good and powerful way to get through the block and keep things going. All right. So the third thing you can do to get through the reader's block, and this is hard. This is hard. It's hard to be silent, but you may need to pause. I do this all the time. I had a tendency to just ramble through a reading, just talk, and I rarely left room to connect with my psychic and intuitive messages, to tune into my body and what my physical sensations were telling me, and to pause and let my querent absorb the message. So space, pausing, silence are very important in a tarot reading. And I have no problem now if I'm not really getting what the message should be, of just saying, just give me a few seconds to connect with the energies here. And I do. I just go and I quiet my mind. I wait for intuitive hits or psychic hits. I pay attention to how my body is feeling. Am I having any physical reactions to the card? And I just wait, and often it's like a faucet is turned on, and all of a sudden, when I quiet my mind, the message just flows out. Try it. You'd be amazed. And get used to allowing time for silence during your readings. It's very helpful. All right. I had to edit my video and throw this one in here. I totally missed one of my ways, and I'm looking at the video. I'm thinking, I only have 4 things here, but I know I had 5 on my list. So I checked my notes, and sure enough, I skipped right over one. So this is why you really have to use your notes when you're doing a video. So let me slip in here and tell you about the one that got away. And that is to forget about the card's forget about the card's meaning, and just describe how you feel when you're looking at the card. Similar to like that first step where you ask the querent, what stands out? How does the card make you feel? Do the same for yourself. You're going to get silent. You're going to pay attention to how your body's feeling, what emotions are coming up. This is all really important as a reader to have a deep connection to, is how to read your body and your emotions when you look at a card. Does your chest tighten up? Do you feel anxiety? What are you feeling when you look at the card? And because sometimes it's really not about the standard meaning at all. There is a certain message that's trying to come through, that's trying to use your feelings, how you're reacting to the card, to help you get the message through. So that is the one that was missing. I hope this helps you. This one is another hard one. So you're doing a reading, and there you come to a position in your spread, and this card is just not speaking to you. Skip right over it. Sometimes that particular position in the spread might not be very relevant for your client. And that's why nothing is coming through. And that's not to say that any card is irrelevant, but it might not be as important as the other ones. So just skip it and say, you know what, I'm going to come back to this card. I really want to look at this next. And you skip over it. And you start reading the rest of the positions in your spread. And then once you've gone through the cards, then you'll probably have a better idea of what the card was trying to say. And it might make more sense now in the reading. So skipping over a position in your spread that has a card that you're just not connecting with at that moment is perfectly okay. I suggest give it that moment of silence, see if anything comes through, and if it doesn't, just say, you know what, I'm going to come back to this card right now. I feel like I need to jump to this card first and continue from there. It's perfectly okay. So now I've shared 5 of the best methods, in my opinion, to get through tarot reader's block. And I just want to know in the comments, first of all, what's been your biggest challenge when it comes to tarot lately? Do you experience reader's block? And if you do, how do you get through it? Do you know some ways that I haven't mentioned to get through tarot reader's block? I'd love to really hear about that. I also want you to remember it's a temporary challenge. It's a challenge that can creep up at you at any time along your tarot journey. Even after years of reading tarot, it can encroach on your reading. So don't feel bad if it comes up. It does not mean you're not a good reader. It doesn't mean you're not intuitive or psychic. It just means that there's a block in the energy at that moment. And using these tools to get through it is actually going to help you come out an even stronger and better reader. So, that being said, if you're ready to build your confidence in your tarot readings and you want to trust your intuition more fully, I do offer one-on-one tarot mentoring sessions, and they're designed uniquely for you to help you break through self-doubt and step into your power as a reader. I am going to put a link in the description so you could book your first session today. I also offer an intuitive tarot course that's also available on my shop if you don't want to do the one-on-one sessions. That course is designed to help you connect with your intuition, recognize your intuition, and learn to hear it. So if you're interested in that, I will also provide a link to that. There's a great blog post on my blog that also talks about reader's block, so I'll put a link to that as well. Now, if you did find this video helpful, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe and share with anyone that you think could benefit from this. I have a lot more videos planned, so there's a lot more to come. Thank you again for joining me. I'll see you soon.